Anthony Slater here with Eric Horn inside the Peak after the Thunder close out an undefeated 3-0 homestand. No like signature wins in this homestand. You had a Mavericks team without its starters that the Thunder blew out, a bad Timberwolves team that they blew out, and then tonight the Heat, which are a good team, but they're on the back end of a 6-game Western Conference road trip, and they're a little banged up too. But the Thunder blew them out. What was it, 93-74?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something along those lines.
74, though.
74 is a key number.
Yeah, the Thunder give up a season-low 74 points. I was impressed with this homestand, like I said, even though there wasn't like a win over the Spurs or something.
Yeah, and it's still NBA teams. And it's especially good to see them finish this homestand off with a win against a team that beat them previously in the year. Even though they were down their starting point guard, Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade got pretty hot in the second quarter, and they pretty much shut him down in the second half of the game. They only allowed him to take 4 shots, and he kind of faded off. But Thunder's best defensive performance of the season, according to Billy Donovan.
Russell Westbrook, 33 assists and 25 points in the last 3 games. Not tonight, that would be ridiculous, but in the last 3 games. So that's more assists than points. Second straight triple-double tonight. He is controlling the game without scoring a ton.
Yeah, and this is probably some of the Russell Westbrook that people want to see. Now, I think that part of the points assists difference is because he got ejected in that one game. But
still, I mean, he had 0 points and 8 assists at that point. That shows you the way he's playing that game.
But he had a ton of assists, in a 15-minute stretch. He's looking for his teammates. He's doing a great job of finding them, and he did tonight. The pass that really broke the game open was out of a timeout. He threw a lob to Andre Robertson for a dunk, and that extended the Thunder's lead in the third quarter, and it really got them off to a big start in the third.
You know who I wrote about?
Dion Waiters.
I wrote about Dion Waiters. There was a stretch, most of December, even into, early January, like he was not playing well.
No.
Struggling. I think he'd made 4 of his last 22 threes, and then he comes into this homestand, and he looked visibly frustrated and a little strange at times. Big time homestand though. 18 points against the Mavericks, efficiently did it. 20 points against the Timberwolves, and then tonight follows it up with 18 against the Heat. This is clearly easily his best 3-game stretch of the season. We talked to him post game. You'll have the video here in a second, but he said he was looking at film and he said he needs to stop fading away on everything. He's still gonna have those step backs, but he can't be fading away on regular 3-pointers. And I guess he's corrected, and it helped him in this homestand.
Yeah, and you can see him operating with more confidence out there. He's finishing better at the rim, and that's been a problem for him as well. He hit all 5 of his free throws tonight. He's playing really well, and the Thunder are going to need him to play well because the bench has been one of their biggest problems this year.
Not 2 huge marquee games coming up, but some interesting ones. The Thunder go to Denver on Tuesday. They beat the Warriors the other night in Denver, so that's an interesting game. And then back here on the back end of a back-to-back at home against Jeremy Lamb and the Hornets, who've struggled a little bit lately, but they're a frisky team, so 2 interesting games coming up.
Yeah, but a chance for them to pick up 2 more wins and make it a nice little winning streak to start this week.
Yeah, here's Dion Waiters, Billy Donovan, and some other players tonight in the Heat Thunder. The Thunder win over the Heat.
The same type of thing, being able to show stability in the midst of a storm, and they. Made some big shots, and then our offensive execution that we showed a little bit in the first half, wasn't there, particularly the first 6 or 7 minutes. They stepped up their pressure. We turned the ball over, didn't get the type of shots we wanted to, and then it was too far gone from there.
Anything specific that bogged things down offensively?
You just have to be able to execute. Particularly when the pressure goes up, you have to have patience and poise to get to second and third layers of your offense, and to be able to trust it. And even if there's a rough possession, to be able to do it again, and make them have to defend, and make them have to negotiate 3 or 4 different things instead of quick shotting it or turning it over.
Those offensive explosions like they're capable of. They push it to 10 pretty quickly, and we really weren't able to rebound from there. KD hit a pull-up 3. He was missing a few, and I was quite surprised. But he hit that one, then Russ hit a transition 3, and I think we had some costly turnovers. And they played very good defense today. You really have to give them credit. They got stops when they needed it. particularly in that third quarter. And they got off to the races and they start making.
To start the game, we really had good defensive energy. But it started, the very first possession. Andre's diving on the floor for the loose basketball was great. Give the Heat credit. I thought we struggled offensively there in that first half. But the one thing that kind of kept us with the lead was the way we defended. And then I thought in the second half we did a much better job attacking their defense, and then our defense continued to move in a positive direction. And I thought from 48 minutes was probably the most complete game we played defensively, and did a lot of good things. We guarded them very well. We didn't give up a lot of threes. We really used our length and size, and I thought from a sustainability standpoint, we sustained tonight for a long period of time, which was great to see.
You talked about Andre. It seemed like in the third quarter, when came out of that timeout, when he hit that dunk and he had back-to-back dunks on consecutive possessions, it seemed like that's when really started to pull away from him. And can you talk about that play, and was that kind of a design out of the timeout?
Yeah, it was a play coming out of the timeout, and it's a read, for Russell, based on what Andre's man's doing. And a lot of times when Stevens rolling to the rim, sometimes they pull off Andre's man, and Andre had the awareness to back cut, and Russell had the awareness to recognize where the help was coming from, and obviously it gave us some momentum. That play kind of started it. We kind of opened up the game after that play.
It seems like you're getting good, consistent production next homestand from that shooting guard spot from Andre and from Dion.
Well, I think the one thing is Andre's figured out inside of our offense is different ways to score. He's been really, I think, timely and selective on his threes. He's gotten out in transition. He's gotten lobs. He's stuck behind the defense. He's got some offensive rebounds. So he's finding ways to score besides just maybe shooting the ball from the perimeter. And it's given us, an added dimension when he's along the baseline and he's offensive rebounding and getting out in transition. And I think the biggest thing for Dion is there's been certainly a lot talked about, a lot of his mid-range shots and those non-paint twos statistically and from an analytics standpoint, but I think Dion continues to get better at driving the ball, getting to the paint, getting guys shots, and then I think also understanding that when there's a clock situation, manufacturing a shot and getting something up to the rim that's a good shot, and he's a really good creator one-on-one. So to your point, I think both those guys have played well here for the last few games.
Nick Gallo, KCThunder.com. You spoke off the top about being able to sustain the defense through 48 minutes. You're not going to play this perfectly on that end every single game, but what are some elements that you saw on the defensive end tonight that are sustainable for you guys moving forward, some things you guys could replicate?
Well, I really thought in the first half we had some breakdowns where they got to the rim, we got cut to the door, we gave up some stuff in around the basket. I thought in the second half we did a much better job with our positioning. We were in areas of the floor that we took away a lot of deep paint drives, deep paint catches. I think they scored 11.
Field in a groove, that's pretty straight, pretty big game.
I'm just being aggressive. Earlier season I was deferring, not really being aggressive, just trying to play with him. The system and just trusting the process. And last couple games, coach told me not get it, just be aggressive. Yeah, that's all I'm doing, just being aggressive, making plays for myself and others.
Were you frustrated? I mean, you were in a little bit of a funk before this homestand. I mean, were you getting frustrated?
It's frustrating. You know what you can do, and we got so good of a team where in the night anybody can step up on the team. So you just gotta trust the process, continue to keep working, don't get down, and just trust and believe that everything's gonna work out for itself.
Talked about being aggressive. Does that apply to the three-point line too? It seems like you're making a higher volume.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make the best of my opportunities out there. If I'm opening, be able to knock the shot down. Early in the season, I caught myself fading a lot. Went back, watched film a lot, and just every shot I shoot, just try to stay on balance. That's my whole thing, just staying on balance and make sure I have faith that I know it's gonna go in. Just trust the process. I keep saying that, and that's what it's all about for real, man. Just once you get in a good groove, it's kind of hard to get out, and just continue to just be consistent. That's what I want to do, just be consistent.
Past 3 or 4 games at the shooting guard spot, you've been good, and not only you, but Andre as well.
Yeah.
What's Andre doing well on the floor that's making it so easy for him on offense?
Yeah, he's running. He's getting out. He's playing defense. Getting stops when he need. He's getting out and he's running. The team's going to play off of him, And, you know, he's doing the little things. You know, he's getting himself involved, going to go rebound. Russ makes sure he finds him. And he just got to stay confident. And when he's open, having faith that he knows he's going to make the shot. And that's the biggest thing, because team's going to help off. So once you get the ball, you just got to have faith in yourself that I'm going to make this shot.
Did you feel yourself fading away on those jumpers, or did you see it on film?
A lot. Sometimes I be wide open, I fade for no reason. And I watched the film. I'm like, wow, you fading, I ain't even had to fade. So I just told myself every time I get it, just try to come straight up and down.
I mean, do you think that's something that's just happened?
Yeah, it was natural for me. I was just always like to fade. I don't know why, but you know, we stress about me just coming down, just, you know, straight up and down. Especially me and Kev. You know, he just say stay there when you shoot it. You know, I start doing all crazy stuff. It ain't bad. Trying to look all cute. So you know, I just try to stay with it, man. Stick with it, and just come up straight up and down.
Do you find yourself even telling in your mind you catching it?
When I miss, I'm like, you would have made if you was on balance. And that's all I'm trying to do now. Like, teams go under. I'm hoping they go under now, you know. So I just, you know, come off the screen, they go under, I'm shooting. In this game, you can't think. That was my problem, really. I was trying to think because I wasn't really in the groove, but now I know where I'm going to get the ball, when I'm going to get it. And it's not about just me scoring, you know, I'm making plays for myself and others also. So, you know, I mean, I just got to keep it up, that's all. Stay with it.
Maybe the most sustained 48-minute defensive effort you guys have had this season. What allowed you guys to be so effective on that end?
Just being aggressive. I thought we did a good job of creating the tempo defensively. That led to some good offensive possessions for us. Got out in transition. It was a good opportunity to get some points.
That third quarter burst seemed to completely change the game. What did you see on that backdoor alley-oop to Andre that got you going?
Just reading, man. Reading, reacting. A lot of guys, a lot of teams pay a lot of attention to me, so I try to find ways to get other guys going. Try to find ways to get them easy basket.
You guys seem to have an extra gear that you can get to like you did in that third quarter. What do you notice about that level of play? What's going well for you during that stretch?
Defense. Regardless if we miss some many shots, our defense is at a high level. It's hard to stop us.
Russ, this pregame routine you got with Cam, where's this come from? How does this thing about?
It's just, you know, every game is something new. Depends on, you know, got to figure out a new dance every game. Bad thing about that, we got a lot of games left, so got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. But, you know, it's something that we came up with.
Do you guys rehearse them pregame?
No. We just got to go with the flow.
Russell, what do these triple doubles mean to you in the context of what all you have to do for your team to get them?
It just means it's great that we having good wins. We're playing together as a team, which is important. Moving in the right direction on both sides of the floor, which is great for us.
How important was keeping Miami off the offensive glass so they only had 7 offensive rebounds?
It's great, man. That shows we did a good job of limiting to one shots, taking tough twos, long shots, and did a good job of getting the rebounds and, you know, in the break.
Russell, when Dwayne Wade was young, he played a lot like you do now, explosive, athletic. Now he's 34. He can still get the job done in a different way. How much do you appreciate a guy who can sort of morph his game like that?
You definitely appreciate guys like that, man. He's obviously he's won championships and he knows how to play the game. He didn't prepare himself every year to try to become you know, one of the best players at his position, and you know, obviously for the Miami Heat. But he's definitely done a great job, and as somebody, obviously, me growing up watching them play and watching the Heat play back then, to see him now is a good thing to see him on the floor.
Have you ever thought about what you're going to be like?